Right, today I'm going to show you how to create this animation using Scratch. This is an example of it right here, and if you can hear the sound, it will have some bubbles in the background. And we're going to make this today, so if you bear with me, we hopefully will get this done in about 2 or 3 minutes. Firstly, I'm going to open the Scratch program, which I already have done here. Just going to bring it on here. And as you know, when you open Scratch the first time, we have our little cat icon. I don't want the cat, I'm going to get rid of him straight away. I'm just going to right click and delete him, and then I'm going to start to insert some new sprites, and I'm going to go and just use the basic ones which are already in the library. So you click on the choose new sprite, and then I'm just going to insert 4 fish. So there's one, let's do another one. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. And I'm also going to insert an octopus to fly around the bottom of my fish tank. Here is number 4. Okay? So now we've got all our sprites on our page. What I need to do with these first is, you can see they're all a bit big, so I'm going to actually make them a bit smaller. Now how you do this on each sprite is you sort of click on it, and then if you go to costumes, you can edit the costume. And the quickest way to make something smaller is to hit this shrink button, or say 3 times, and it shrinks down. I'm going to do that to a few of them. They are just too big for the page. Edit, shrink that one twice, make the big red one, edit, shrink that one once. I'll do it in twice as well. You'll notice that when I click on the sprite, it instantly goes to the costume page. It's remembered that that's what I'm looking at, so it is quite quick to do this. I'm going to have a very small octopus, and this yellow guy also needs to be made a bit smaller. I'm just going to shrink him. I'm going to shrink him twice as well. But here all my fish shrunk down in my fish tank. At the moment my fish tank is very empty. I'm going to have to put a background in. I'm going to click on stage, and again it selects background, and I'm going to import a background from all the selected stuff already in the program. I'm going to pick a nature one, and there's a nice fish tank background already there for you. I'm going to get rid of this one because I don't want it, and so there is my background. So already it's starting to look like a fish tank, and I've only been doing this for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Now, this is where the programming side comes in, where we want to animate them. Firstly, what I'm going to do is make sure these fish will point the correct way. If I click on each sprite, at the top here, you can see that there's a little tiny blue line, and there's some icons up here. And if I grab hold of this and move it, you can see that the fish rotates round. Now, I don't want the fish to rotate, I want it just to flip backwards and forwards. So what I can do is I can set its direction, and you notice I've chosen a direction which is not 90 degrees. Don't want it to be in right angles. There is a reason for this, and I'll show what will happen in a second. I'm just going to very quickly go to each fish, make sure it's set left and right, and just change the direction. Left and right. Go down a bit. This guy here, I'm going to go left and right. I'm going to make them go down just a little bit. And the octopus, just to show what I mean, I'm going to leave the direction as 90. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to make sure he's going left and right. So we just turn round. Now, we need to animate these characters. I'm going to start with the octopus, because I'm actually on the octopus. I'm going to click on scripts, and then I'm going to click on control. I'm going to drag on when clicked, meaning this will happen the minute I click start the program. This will start to happen, and I want it to happen forever. And what I want to basically happen is I want it to move, and then when it gets to the edge of the screen, I want it to bounce off of it. Now if I run this right now, the octopus will start to move, but it will move very quickly. As you can see, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. What's really nice about this program is the fact that if I change the steps, instantly he starts to change. There's an instant change, so it's really easy to review and assess what you're doing with this. I'm going to make him move 0.5 steps, which makes him move very slowly across the bottom of the screen. I'm going to just click that to make him stop. Now all of the fish I want to move in a very similar way. Now a very, very quick way of copying this across, because it's the same program for each fish, is to click hold of it and just drag it onto the sprite. It doesn't look like anything's happened, but when I click on the sprite, I'm just going to do it for each one. I click on the sprite, it's actually copied the program across. Now, to make this a bit different, I'm going to change the speed of the fish. I can check it, so now this is going to move 2. Now you know it's actually not moving backwards and forwards. This is because I set the direction, that blue arrow, in a slightly different way. So when it bounces off at a different angle. It's a very, very simple way of making a fish appear at random when in fact it's not really random at all. Click on the second sprite. I'm going to make him go a bit slower. Change the value, and he starts straight away. Sprite 3, I can make it move somewhere in between. Got to make sure you click on it, white box shows it's working, and then finally do this guy. I'll do him for 2 seconds, and he'll start moving around. If you want to stop any of them, just click, and it stops them all. In fact, it stops one. If you want to stop them all, you click on the red stop there. Okay, I'm just going to reposition the fish different places, and then because I've programmed them all, if I push play, they start to run. And if you don't like the speed of, say, the yellowfish, I think the yellowfish is still working a bit quickly, I can change the steps and I can make him move at 1, and instantly there's a change. A little bit of a tip, which I haven't done because just for speed, is you can name all of the fish to make it perhaps a bit easier to understand what each one is. So I can call this one green, I can call this one purple, and this is probably just good practice for later on when you have to call sprites different things to allow them to interact. And this is spotted, and this is octo. Okay, now that in a nutshell is it programmed. The only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a sound just to make it a little bit more real. And I'm going to add the sound to the stage. You can add some program just to the stage itself. I'm clicking on the stage, and you can script the stage as well. And I'm going to do a sound. I want it to play a sound. I'm just going to pull that on, because of course I need when clicked, and I want it to happen forever. And I need a wait as well, and I'll explain the wait in a second. If I just click on this, I'm going to whack it in there. At the minute, this is going to be set to play this sound forever. I don't want pop, I want something else. I clicked on record, but literally I just want a sound. I don't want pop. I'm going to import bubbles. And if I play it, you should be able to hear it. It's 4 seconds long. Now if I script this, if I actually turn this to bubbles, what will happen when I play it is it will constantly keep replaying it. It sounds really weird. I'll try and let you hear it. It's still playing that one. Haha. Sorry. If I play again, it just sounds like clicking. It's because the sound isn't actually playing, it's playing it and keep replaying it. So you've got to put in a delay so that it will play the whole sound. Now, when this all should work properly, if I click play, if I turn the speakers on, you'll be able to hear the fish swimming and the sound playing. That is, in a nutshell, how you make a very simple fish tank using Scratch. You can take it a step further, and you can add costumes and make the fishes and octopuses appear like they're moving by an